Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Talkin' Tunes. I am your host, Frank Walsh. Thanks for tuning in today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who frequently watch the show, you know that of that 100 and something shows that I've done, I've had a little bit of everything. Blues, rock and roll, a little bit of reggae, a little bit of folk, a little bit of storytelling. I pretty much covered the gamut. But one thing I haven't had is good old country music. And you are not going to be disappointed today because this gentleman to whom I'm going to introduce you, I met, a little bit while back. I was at a mutual friend's party. They had rock and roll, they had blues, they had all kinds of stuff playing on stage. And I was wandering around and then all of a sudden I heard a little pause and then I heard this music come on and I said, oh, the band must be taking a break. And they said, oh no, that's Danny. And I said, really? I thought Johnny Cash was dead. So anyway, I have a gentleman here who has a nice country voice. He is a great guy. He is an interesting guy. And it's a great pleasure to introduce to you my friend, Mr. Dan Sullivan. Dan, welcome aboard.
Hello, Frank. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Was that kind of an accurate introduction there?
Absolutely. However you want to spell it, buddy. You're the, you know what I mean? It was.
Well,
yeah.
It is true, though. I mean, we were sitting at that party, and we had all different kinds of flavors of music going on. Then all of a sudden we heard, I think we were doing maybe I Walked the Line, or you were doing some Johnny Cash song.
I did Folsom Prison
Blues.
We
and
did Little Doors after that. It was
yeah,
nice.
And I'm saying to myself, boy, I thought Johnny Cash was dead. So we struck up a conversation and got to know each other a little bit. And I said, man, we gotta break that mold and get some good old country boy on here.
Absolutely, I appreciate the opportunity.
I'm really glad you're here. So for the one or two people who may not know you, why don't you look into that camera for a little bit and just kind of give an overview of who you are and what you're all about.
Well, I'm originally from the Boston area, and I grew up in a little town called Westwood, Massachusetts, and I have some ties to Stoughton here as well. And I'm a single father of 4 beautiful girls, and I enjoy singing, and I sell optics by day. I also do a little acting, a little voiceover. I do I host karaoke at a place called Asia Grill in Mansfield every Friday. You want to come down and sing a song, I'll put one on for you, and we'll sing some together if you want. And I'm just a hardworking guy who loves to sing and make people smile.
Well, the times that I have seen you, you have certainly done that.
Well,
now, I introduced you pretty much as a country kind of guy, and the hat kind of exemplifies that. But you do play other music. You mentioned you played the Doors, but what would you consider your signature? What would you hang your hat on, so to speak?
Well, lately it has been more. I have been leaning a little bit more country. I grew up, in the classic rock era. 60s, 70s, 80s. Went to high school during, the 70s and graduated in '81. And my favorite band growing up was the Doors. So he was the reason. Jim Morrison was the reason I wanted to sing in the first place. And then a friend of mine, Chris, asked me to, who was also from Stoughton, as a matter of fact. He suggested I take a look at some of Johnny Cash's videos, and I just fell in love with them. And it just turns out that my voice seems to fit his. And I would have loved to just shake the man's hand, never mind be mentioned in the same sentence as a singer as him. So,
well, that's how I heard it. Now, when did you discover your voice? I mean, when did you start singing, and when did you have that voice that you have now? Was it back in your teen years or later years where you said, "Hey, I can sing a little bit, and I'm going to go out and try to make a little profession out of it"? When did you discover that?
Well, my brother brought home a book called No One Here Gets Out Alive. I read the book and loved the Doors music, and I would be in my bedroom as a teenager singing into my hairbrush, thinking I'm in a Coliseum with 100,000
I thought
people.
I was the only one who did that.
Nope, I was one of those guys, and I was singing along to the radio, so you don't really know how to sing until you sing by yourself. And I had the opportunity to get some studio time, and I was very disappointed in what I actually sounded like.
Really?
But because where you miss, the artist who can do it makes it up for you. So I'm missing all the time and thinking I'm hitting it. So I ended up taking some lessons, and it changed everything. I mean, it's just a whole different ball of wax. It's once you learn how to use your body the way it's supposed to, and if you can listen to yourself, you can get better as a singer. That's
Now,
the tough
when was
part.
that? Was that in your teens, your 20s, or did it take a while?
I was 2 years in a band before I ever took, I was started Roadhouse, was a Doors tribute band in 2008. We were together for 6 years. We kind of morphed into a classic rock band just because we were more marketable. But the Doors fans just gushed over it. They just, they really, really loved it. So, but I wanted to be a vocalist. I wanted to be a singer, and I'm not a Jim Morrison impersonator. Not that anything against that or anybody that does that. I just didn't want to be that. I just wanted to be someone who could sing, and I wanted to be good. And I'm hoping I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Now, in addition to doing some of the covers, talk a little bit about originals. Have you put the pen to paper and written some songs and
I would consider myself a poet, kind of, in a way. I can write lyrics and things like that, but I have tremendous respect for someone who can take a bunch of notes and put them to paper and have it come out coherently and have people want to listen to it. I could learn somebody else's music. I learned that way very quickly. But as far as being able to write a song, notes and lyrics.
What about the lyrics? Have you written any lyrics and had someone who is capable of doing that do it for you or with you?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
But I've written some poems in the past that people were pretty impressed with. So
now, were you writing poems as a song or just a poem in general that maybe had a little rhyme scheme to them that when you did them you can say, I can put a little bit of beat to this?
Yeah, you could. I mean, I suppose anybody could do it, what I mean, or things could be rearranged. But a lot of it, I think, was more getting, thoughts, good and bad, out on paper. You know what I mean? As a teenager, a way of expressing yourself, whether life was good or bad. You know what I mean? So, we've all had good and bad, and things like that. So, but how you deal with it is the key.
I know you talked about Johnny Cash and Jim Morrison being one of your idols. I'm sure there are other types of music that you might listen to. If I went out and opened up your your MP3 or looked at your CDs, what would I find in the car that you drive around and just pop in there?
You'd probably find anything from the mid-'50s all the way up to current. I'm kind of all over the place. You mentioned country. I have been going that way. People like, I've been singing Zach Brown Band. I'm going to sing a song by him today.
Cool.
I do some Billy Currington, Garth Brooks. Who else? Josh Turner. I do Your Man. The ladies like that one.
One of my favorites. I'm very eclectic in my taste, and I always liked. I'd put on Willie Nelson, but who I really like to listen to is Dwight Yoakam.
Oh yeah.
I love Dwight Yoakam, and
he was an actor. He's an actor?
He was.
Too,
He's a very accomplished actor. I think he was nominated for some awards. He was great in.
He was in Sling Blade. Yeah.
Sling Blade. He was great in that, and you didn't even know who he was. But he's been on other things too, and he's been in other series. But you play around. I know you were from here and you moved down around the Rhode Island area. Talk about some of the places that you play, and you mentioned your karaoke, and we have a very good friend who watches all of our shows, Gary Haggerty, and he's
Spider-Man.
He's Spider. He is out there, promoting like heck, and have you and he teamed up, and you've played with him in some of his little gigs. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, another young lady who's been on the show was Lynette Faringa, Todd, Todd's wife. And we have played places like the Midway. We've done the VFWs down in the Rhode Island area, things like that. We do I'll do a series of songs. We do some duets. She'll do a series of songs, things like that. Gary and I have been just trying to market things like that. Yeah. Some of the local nursing homes, a lot of people think that they want to hear, Frank Sinatra and things like that. They're requesting Johnny, Johnny. They like Johnny Cash, they like Bobby Darin, but they're also looking for the Beatles now, and John Denver and Van Morrison and things like that. Because you figure Jim Morrison would be 74 years old. That's not too far away from retirement at home age. So, and it kind of just fits in my wheelhouse, and to, you know, you get a little bit of money, but to see them smile and to see someone, you know, that probably, you know, sometimes, you know, people don't come and visit them, you know, that they can have an opportunity to have somebody come in and make them smile for an hour. And I love that. And just worth the price of admission for me.
I've attended some of those, and you're absolutely right. You know, it's not so much the music, but just the reward that you get from seeing the satisfaction. And I've had the pleasure here at the studio. We go and do that with some of the local nursing homes, et cetera, and I've filmed that. And it's amazing. So good for you for doing that.
Well,
good for you for doing that.
It's very rewarding for me.
It is very rewarding. Now, I always tell people one of the things that we have to fight here is the clock. So one question before I ask you what you're going to be playing today is, how different is it for you playing with a band versus playing how you're going to play today with the music behind you? Is there much of a difference between the two?
Well, you don't have the liberties, you know, to stretch a song with the backtracks because they are finite. But it has. I miss the live feel, but at the same time, it's very hard to book a 5-piece band,
right,
you know, and have everybody's schedule and egos and all that other stuff. So, for simplicity purposes, this venue works very well for me because it's constant. I know it's going to be there unless the computer fails. It's going to be there.
Because I can see you, and I can see you as someone who can rock it out. I can. I'm guessing I've never seen you live on stage, but I saw you live, you know, working with that and a little background behind you. But do you get very animated on stage when you get up there, or are you animated on stage?
It depends. It depends on the, you know, you can feed into the crowd, the song itself, and sometimes you lose yourself in the song, and you know, it is a lot of fun. And at first I was, you know, everyone's, I think, a little self-conscious, but you get over it after a while, and you say, hey, I can do anything for 3 minutes.
Right. And do you play an instrument, or have you played an instrument?
I play the air guitar, the air drums, you know, not even one lesson. You know, but,
would you go to Berkeley for that?
Yes, I did.
Get the degree in air guitar?
Right. And the tuition was just that, too.
Wow. So why don't you talk a little bit about what you're going to be playing for us today?
Well, I was gonna. I have 4 daughters, as I mentioned. Some of them requested some songs. I'm gonna do a couple songs for them, and other ones that remind me of my other 2 girls. So I'm gonna sing little Johnny Cash, do maybe some Elton John, and Zac Brown Band, and did I say Johnny Cash already?
You did.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Johnny Rivers.
Johnny Rivers.
Yeah. So, and I think it'll be fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to sit back, relax, because in a second you are going to be listening to Mr. Dan Sullivan.
All right, this one goes out to Justina down in North Carolina. Love you, babe. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. But I'm stuck in Folsom prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin' on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. I bet there's rich folks eating from a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I knew I had it coming. I knew I can't be free. But those people keep a-moving, and that's what tortures me. if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Yeah.
This one goes out to my eldest daughter, Kristen. Love you, babe. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. Don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. Oh, I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and I kicked at the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've gotten me quite cross. But the sun's been quite bright while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that they keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do. You see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Oh, anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. This one is for my middle daughter, Kel, with your big brown eyes. Love you too, babe. Hey, where did we go
Days when the rains came down in the hollow, they're playing a new game, laughing and a running, hey, hey, skipping and a jumping in a misty morning fog with our hearts a thumping. You, my brown-eyed girl, you, my brown-eyed girl. And whatever happened to Tuesday and so slow, going down the old mine with a transistor radio, standing in the sunlight laughing, hiding high rainbow walls, slipping and a sliding all along the waterfall with you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee-da, just like that. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee-da, la-dee-da. So hard to find my way now that I'm on my own. I saw you just the other day, but my, how you have grown. Can't remember back there, Lord. Sometimes overcome thinking about laughing and a running, hey, hey, a skipping and a jumping with you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee-da, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-dee-da, sha-la-la-la-la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, Becca, baby, this one's for you. Miss you, babe. Love you. You know I like my chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio Well, eyes raise up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine. That's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. My house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love. It's funny how it's the little things in life that mean the most, not where you live or what you drive or the price tag on your clothes. No dollar sign on a piece of mind, this I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me and raise your glasses for a toast to a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love. I thank God for my life, for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, ones who give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our chicken fries. Cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love. Get your little chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up like see the sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dan, man,
That was a lot of fun. Thanks.
you lived up to that promise. And I'm sure that you folks at home are going to pay a little bit more attention to this guy. But just give a little recap of those little songs.
Well, I got my list right here. So the first one was a song called "Your Song" by Elton John.
Elton
of course.
John, yeah.
And it's just a song that I had sung to my daughter she had a little bit of trouble in her life, and I just wanted the lyric, "How wonderful life is while you're in the world." I almost lost her, so I wanted her to know that she means a lot to me. So that's a song that I did for her. My middle daughter, Kel, she wanted to hear "Brown Eyed Girl." She got big brown eyes, beautiful girl. And my youngest one is Becca, and she wanted to hear "Chicken Fried" by Zach Brown Band.
So, Dan, any gigs coming up? I know you have your karaoke going on a regular basis. Why don't you tell them where they can go and see you again?
On School Street in Mansfield, a place called Asia Grill, and it's a sushi place, great food, and nice clean restaurant. And I'm there every Friday from 9:30 till 1 a.m. And I'm working on another gig in Mansfield coming up, possibly Fisherman's 3 on Saturday night, which is on Old Colony Road in Norton, Massachusetts. And I sing at nursing homes, but that's just for the residents. So.
And they can also reach you on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Dan Sullivan, Greenville, Rhode Island, originally from the Boston area, but I live in Rhode Island now. So friend me if you will. I post videos that I do at home all the time. Also, you might have seen my YouTube page, which is Roadhouse, spelled like Rhode Island. There it is right there. Roadhouse 67. I have quite a few videos up there, just me goofing around at home and just some fun stuff.
Well, Dan, I certainly want to thank you very much for coming
Frank.
on. It's been a treat and a pleasure to have you here. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, go out and support your local musicians. For my guest, Dan Sullivan, my esteemed director, Roxanne Morse, who pushes the buttons and make us look and sound pretty, I am Frank Walsh. See you down the road.